think about your world today. I mean, the speed of change is just dizzying, isn't it? Technology, how we talk to each other, how we work, it's all so different, even from just, say, 10 years ago. But here's the real question. Has our education system actually kept up? Or is it kind of running on an old operating system, one from a totally different time? Today, we're taking a deep dive into some really fascinating stuff that tackles exactly this urgent challenge. We've got this in-depth analysis called 5x5, Reinventing Education for the 21st Century by Ismail Sarah Geldin. Really thoughtful piece, and also a compelling article from the Economic Times called Reinventing Education by Sudhakar Ram. So our mission today really is to pull out the most important insights from these sources, help you get up to speed fast on this because it's critical. We're going to explore why the current system feels so out of sync. What huge shifts in the world are demanding a totally new approach? What kind of mind do we absolutely need to cultivate in young people now? And how education itself has to transform its forms, methods, even where it happens.
And finally, we'll look at those crucial transitions young adults face and how education can genuinely support them through that. Okay, let's unpack this because honestly, both sources pretty much agree. The education model we've leaned on for about 200 years, mostly born in the 20th century. It's fundamentally at odds with what the 21st century needs.
It is quite remarkable, actually, how specifically that model was engineered for its time. The 20th century education system, it really evolved to, well, produce graduates for that era's economy, the industrial age. Its main job was cultivating an aptitude for taking instructions, instilling discipline, and crucially, building a tolerance for repetitive, often frankly boring work. So certification, in that model, it wasn't just about what you knew. It was mostly about proving you were a disciplined person, someone who could do repetitive tasks quickly and accurately. And that's exactly what employers wanted back then. Think assembly lines, factories, big bureaucracies. Alvin Toffler, he famously called this mass education system. He said it was built on an industrial age factory model. It even had a covert curriculum, sort of a hidden agenda.
Oh, okay.
Teaching punctuality, obedience, and, repetitive work.
And it feels like the maybe unintended consequence was, well, we actually sort of educated the intelligence out of our kids. Howard Gardner's Project Zero at Harvard.
Yeah.
The multiple intelligences guy. The idea that intelligence isn't just one thing, but spatial, musical, interpersonal skills, all that.
Right.
Well, they found something pretty alarming. Almost all kids at age 4 are apparently at genius level for multiple intelligences. But by age 20, that number plummets to just 2%.
Yeah.
It's staggering, really.
Yeah.
Like the system was actively pruning those unique abilities.
It is. And what's fascinating, or maybe worrying, is that the current system still kind of operates under this flawed idea, this assumption that there is a finite amount of knowledge to just cram into students' heads.
Right, like filling a bucket.
Exactly. And that paradigm is just completely obsolete now in the 21st century. Why? Because the sheer volume of knowledge, the quantum of it, it's exploded. It's so vast, it would literally take lifetimes just to master one single discipline anymore. So the critical thing now, the new necessity, is for kids to learn how to learn, to get the skills for lifelong learning, just-in-time learning when they need it. And with super specialization everywhere, we're also seeing these disciplinary silos pop up.
Oh, yeah.
People understand their own field really well, sure, but they struggle to talk across fields to communicate effectively. They lose the know what, you could say.
The wisdom bit.
Exactly. It's not just facts. It's understanding the why, the bigger picture, the purpose behind the knowledge.
Okay, so we've got the problem. Education's kind of stuck. But what's really driving the need for change, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Ismail Sarah Geldin points to 5 huge shifts, mostly driven by the internet, that really highlight why we need radical transformation. Now,
absolutely. And the first big one he points to is a new paradigm of knowledge. The way we learn, store, find, interact with knowledge. It's being totally reshaped. We're shifting away from print, information locked in books to this fluid digital knowledge. Websites, hypertext, constant updates, and images, video, they're becoming much more central. Humans now, we literally need machines to find and use information effectively. We just can't handle the volume otherwise.
Right.
Plus, reality itself is complex, chaotic. We need new models beyond simple math. Computing science is becoming central to everything, leaving into science itself. You see things like transformation, DNA and biology changing genetics entirely, and convergence like biology and chemistry merging into biochemistry. And now We're seeing this superconvergence, bioinfo nanotechnologies, biology, information science, nanotechnology, all merging.
Wow.
So what that means is, quote, the old disciplinary silos in education, research, and teaching will no longer be adequate. Simple as that. We have to cross disciplines to tackle complex problems. We need interdisciplinary work and what he calls interactional expertise.
Interactional expertise.
Hmm.
So not just knowing your stuff, but knowing enough about other fields to actually work together.
Precisely. Speaking the same language, understanding their approaches so you can collaborate effectively.
And going hand in hand with that knowledge shift is just the sheer scale of big data and the internet explosion.
Yeah.
The numbers here are, well, they're hard to wrap your head around. IDC, the International Data Corporation, they predicted 175 zettabytes of new data by 2025.
Which we've probably already blown past.
Probably. And to give you a sense of scale, 1 zettabyte, it's like
Okay.
more than 70 million times all the text in the Library of Congress.
Staggering.
Multiply the Library of Congress by 70 million. It's almost impossible to picture.
Yeah.
And in 2020 alone, 1.7 megabytes of data were created every second by every person on Earth.
Every second.
And get this, 90% of all the data that exists in the world right now was created in just the last 2 years. How can education possibly stay the same when that's happening?
It just can't. And this data explosion, it's not happening in isolation, right? It's tied directly to how we connect, how we carry information. Which brings us to the huge impact of social connectivity and the personal handheld device,
The smartphone.
the smartphone.
Yeah.
Probably the defining transformative tech of our era. It gives young people instant news, unlimited info. But the flip side is it also lets misinformation and conspiracy theories spread like wildfire.
Yeah, that's a huge challenge.
Huge. Then, of course, you've got the accelerating rise of artificial intelligence, AI, robotics, and brain-machine interface. McKinsey estimated AI's impact will be something like 3,000 times greater than the Industrial Revolution.
The 3,000 times.
Yeah. And we're just starting to see brain-machine interfaces emerge, connecting minds directly to machines. That's going to be game-changing. And finally, there's the Internet of Things, IoT. Machines talking to other machines, acting on that data without us intervening. Combine that with AI, it becomes immense. It changes how our physical world actually works. So, okay, given all these massive, undeniable changes, what kind of mind do we actually need to be cultivating in young people now? Howard Gardner, Mr. Multiple Intelligences, he's even evolved his own thinking. He now talks about 5 desired aspects for a 21st century mind. And other people, like Peter Diamandis, they have their lists, too, about what success looks like in this new landscape.
Exactly. And Sarah Geldin, he kind of boils it down to 5 really crucial attributes that future schools should focus on nurturing. I think you'll find these really hit home. First up, he talks about a critical and synthesizing mind. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
With this flood of information from everywhere, young people absolutely have to be able to screen it, evaluate it critically, and then synthesize it, put it together into a coherent understanding. And critical thinking isn't some separate skill you bolt on. It's intertwined. You need it to synthesize effectively.
That's so key. It's not about just soaking up facts anymore. It's building that internal filter, connecting the dots yourself, forming your own informed view. Otherwise, you're just overwhelmed or, worse, misled.
Totally. Okay, second attribute, a mind endowed with imagination and creativity. The old system often kind of squashed imagination, didn't it? Always looking for the one right answer.
Yeah, standardized testing doesn't reward creativity much.
Right. But creativity isn't just for art class. It's for everyday problem solving. Imagining what hasn't been done yet, seeing possibilities. We need to unleash that.
Think of it like the engine of innovation. If routine tasks get automated, what's left? Generating novel solutions, connecting unrelated ideas. That's the valuable stuff, seeing beyond the way things are now.
Then number 3, Sarah Geldin highlights a curious mind. Every little kid has this, right? Why is this guy blue? Why are leaves green?
Innate curiosity.
Exactly. Education should nurture that curiosity, carried into adulthood, especially for nature, for science. He calls science a marvelous journey of discovery driven by that curiosity. We need to cultivate questers, people who value asking good questions even more than finding the final answer, because the questions often lead somewhere unexpected.
Oh, that questers.
Fourth is the disciplined and respectful mind. And this isn't just about doing your homework on time.
No.
It's about mastering your own emotions, being respectful of others, even people you fundamentally disagree with. These are crucial interpersonal skills, behavioral skills. You learn them through interaction, through seeing teachers model it. And it also includes persistence, perseverance, sticking with goals even when it gets tough, not giving up easily.
That often gets missed in skills discussions, but it's foundational, isn't it?
Yeah.
Emotional intelligence, resilience, they're vital for navigating life, work, everything, how you show up as a person.
Absolutely. And finally, number 5, he emphasizes the ethical mind. Education isn't just about skills, it's about building character, values, beliefs, habits. This means appreciating diversity, ethnic, religious, gender, and really grappling with the big ethical questions new tech throws up.
Like, just because we can do something, should we?
Exactly. Is it technically feasible versus ethically desirable? Ensuring access for everyone, empowering marginalized groups, making sure progress actually benefits humanity.
This might be the most critical one. With technology moving so fast, that ethical framework is our compass. It guides us, ensures innovation serves people responsibly. So if you connect all these things, these qualities we need, these massive global shifts, it becomes crystal clear that the old model, rigid linear education leading to one 40-year career, that's just obsolete. Gone. Continuous learning isn't just a nice idea anymore. It's going to be an absolute economic necessity. The market will demand new skills constantly. Companies will have to upgrade their workforce. So you'll see more modular learning options for professional needs and just for personal interest too.
So what forms does this new education take? Well, formal education schools, universities, that stays as the backbone. But they'll use new tech much more. And research excellence in the university, that continues. Combining research and teaching, training the next wave of researchers, that's vital.
But a huge shift, one we've already seen accelerate massively, thanks to the pandemic, is distance-guided learning.
Oh, yeah.
Even before COVID, you had MOOC's massive open online courses, Coursera, Udacity, edX, resources like Khan Academy, TED Talks. The online learning landscape was already getting incredibly rich.
And that flows right into lifelong education for employment, meeting new professional assessments, skill updates maybe every 5 or 10 years. And here's that provocative thought from Sarah Geldin about robots. He doesn't think they'll kill jobs.
Interesting take.
Yeah, he suggests we might move to a 3-day weekend. Robots pick up 20% of the work, humans work less. And the nature of work changes we learn to work with robots, collaboratively.
A qualitative shift.
Exactly. And beyond work, there's lifelong education for personal cultural enrichment, made super accessible by tech, learning a language, an instrument, history, all from anywhere.
So if we outline the truly reinvented parts, the content itself has to change radically. Move beyond rote facts to fostering questioning, discovery, creativity, those crucial interpersonal skills, actively promoting values like critical thinking, ethics, and the method. Less traditional lecturing, much more guided learning, self-learning. Things like flipped instruction, watch lectures at home, use class time for mentoring, problem solving together. Even drills could become more like engaging video games.
And the participants expand massively, right? Virtual peers, global communities. But, and this is crucial, something the pandemic really highlighted, the physical venues, schools, universities, they are not going away. Kids need to be with other kids.
For socialization, yeah.
For socialization, emotional development, learning how to be citizens together. Plus, practically, parents need kids in school to go back to work effectively. It's not just about individuals learning alone at home.
Which raises an important point, maybe a surprising one. What about libraries?
Good question. Do we still need them?
Absolutely. Emphatically not obsolete. In fact, in this age of endless online info, much of it questionable quality. Libraries become even more important. They'll evolve into essential portals, organizing knowledge, helping learners and the public navigate the huge, complex digital world, guides in the information jungle, essentially. And, the education system as a whole, it really acts as the incubator for effective citizens. It's the custodian of that generational transition. It helps mediate 5 absolutely essential transitions for young people, typically between, say, 15 and 24. Get this right, and the benefits for society are just immense.
And these 5 transitions, they really matter. First, continuing to learn. Maybe the biggest decision for teenagers. We see high dropout rates, like 1.3 million high school dropouts a year in the U.S. alone. And boredom is often a top reason given.
Which points back to needing a more engaging system.
Exactly. But the reality is, higher education is increasingly valuable, not just for jobs, but for fostering entrepreneurship, adaptability. Second transition, starting with work, moving from being a dependent student to an independent worker. How education helps with that is massive.
Huge impact.
Third, developing a healthy lifestyle. Big decisions happen here. Smoking, drugs, attitudes towards sex. The education system needs to provide psychological support, help kids make healthy choices.
Vital support.
Fourth, starting a family. The attitudes, the values, even the skills learned in university, they can really influence whether people form strong, resilient families later on, which is the bedrock, really.
Foundational for society.
And finally, number 5, exercising citizenship. Political awareness often clicks in during these years, maybe at university. Students join groups, start voting, get exposed to different ideas. The attitudes formed then shape them as citizens. It influences how democracy evolves, helps prevent extremism.
So, to really help young people through all this, the World Bank actually supports 3 broad policy directions. 1, expand opportunities for them. 2, enhance their capabilities, better skills, knowledge. And 3, provide second chances so kids don't fall through the cracks into long-term unemployment or dead-end jobs.
So boiling it all down, the core message from these sources is just crystal clear, isn't it? Education needs an urgent, radical transformation, not just tinkering. We need to equip the next generation for a world totally unlike anything we've known before. It's about empowering them to thrive in this digital age. Curiosity, adaptability, those need to be their guiding forces.
Exactly. The vision here is for a new education system, one that's affordable, provides better learning for everyone, a system that doesn't just transmit old knowledge but actually challenges ideas, fosters new ones. It has to offer access for all, no matter their background, and really promote those core attributes:
Yeah.
curiosity, imagination, critical thinking, and absolutely ethics.
So thinking about all this, what does it mean for you, listening right now? How might these huge shifts in education affect your own career, your own need to learn new skills, or even just how you approach learning for your own interest and enrichment? The future of our kids, our societies, it really is at stake. But we have the chance, with courage, to build something genuinely transformative.